Alright, well, uh, I'm a little bit disappointed, but a little optimistic. I'm making a few videos in response to Mr. kevinmcdshotday, whatever. Um, I just watched a video about him talking about the Chevy Volt, and I completely agree with the fact that these hybrid cars that run on electricity, I mean, you plug them in your wall and your electricity is coming from coal burning energy plants. So you know, the fact that people think that they're a whole lot better for the environment, you know, it is kind of a misconception. I completely agree with that. However, I get so irritated when you start talking about environmentalists. Uh, as Americans, we can't have this closed-minded view of each other. The environment is being impacted, but there's no such thing as global warming. And I mean, if you actually kind of, you know, knew what you were talking about, you would know that global warming is no longer a term that is accepted in the scientific community. Global warming is a term that is falsified because of the fact that it's called global warming. It's not true, because not all places are warming. We have the idea from the north, and the ice caps melting, but in reality, not all places are warming up, and that's why we refer to it as climate change, not global warming. That's not a term that is politically correct anymore. We've gotten past that. Climate change is very real. Climate change is something that you cannot deny through the facts and the statistics that have been shown. Watching Al Gore on TV, that you know, Al Gore just, you know, was trying to make money or something, I don't know. You know, gave a lot of false statistics that were misleading. A lot of people took them the wrong way. So basically, what's going on is the Earth has always warmed and cooled throughout the entire history of the Earth, and what's happening now is we're actually going through another climate change. But instead of the climate change taking hundreds of thousands of years to you know, get the effects that we're at today, we're reaching those effects just in the past 100 years, since the Industrial Revolution mainly. And you know, speaking out and calling environmentalists, you know, hippies, and you know, using the curse words and everything, it's just unnecessary, because I would consider myself an environmentalist. Now what does that term mean? You know, you're not helping with the public view of environmentalists when you're giving off this false sense of, you know, this negative energy that you're coming off with when you talk about environmentalists. I don't drive a hybrid. I don't like Priuses. I don't believe in electric cars that are being recharged from electric sources coming from coal burning plants. I'm against that. I drive a Jeep that gets 15-16 miles to the gallon. Does that make me a hypocrite? No, I wouldn't say so. I just, you know, it's something that is going to take time, and as Americans we have to work together to get you know, towards that goal of, you know, being proactive in positively affecting climate change. So yeah, it does irritate me that you want to get on YouTube and let millions of people have this false idea of what an environmentalist is. We have to look at alternative energy sources. It's been proven that with the oil reserves that we have left, and at the rate that we're using oil in countries like China, India, with the growing population, not only in those countries but all over the world, if we continue using fossil fuel energy sources, we only have about somewhere roughly in the area of 50 years of oil. But because of the market of oil and the money still being brought in by oil, it's not going to change until we get down to the last minute, and everybody kind of looks around and says, oh crap, what do we do now? So I think that when you get on here and you talk about these electric cars, I think that you're completely right. These electric cars, they don't solve the problem. Yes, they may not give off the same emissions, but you can't deviate away from the facts, and the facts show that the parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere have risen significantly in the past 100 years to dangerous levels, and with deforestation, we're just helping the problem. And you can call me a hippie and environmentalist. That's fine with me if you want to do that. But as Americans, I think that we need to work together. And instead of being closed-minded and blaming the Middle East, which half of our oil in the United States, less than half of the oil in the United States actually comes from foreign oil sources. And we don't get oil from the Middle East. Most of our foreign oil is actually from Venezuela. So to get on here and make videos blaming the camel molesting Arabs, or whatever you'd like to refer to them as, it's completely irrational. It's ignorant, and it's offensive. Because for people who are looking forward to the future, and people who are looking forward to the whole world, and as a human race coming together and kind of working towards this goal of a healthier environment and a healthier population, it's just degrading, and it's upsetting to watch you take that shot of Jack Daniels or iced tea vodka or whatever it might be, and be able to go to sleep at night knowing that you have spoken out about your own countrymen and women. It's just upsetting, and so I'd like to kind of raise the question, where are you getting your information? How do you know all these things about Barack Obama? And how is it that Barack Obama is the one to blame, considering that he is just a mascot? He's just the president. He has no true power. The power is all in Congress. And who's pulling the strings of Congress? It's the fat cats on Wall Street who are investing in foreign oil, and they can buy out a vote real quick from a congressman. It happens every day, whether we want to admit to it or not. But ultimately, as Americans, we vote with our dollars. So if you don't like if you don't like the electric cars, then don't buy them. If you don't like the rising oil prices, ride your bike or something. I mean, you don't have to go along with what the government is forcing us to go along with, and it's not even the government. You know, it's the large oil companies who control the prices. This oil is just on the open market and free for people to buy, and it doesn't make sense to blame one person or a group of people. It's irritating. It really is irritating, because of this false sense that you have of what an environmentalist is. I'm not a tree hugger. I'm not a hippie. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, scream at you for, you know, driving a big truck. It's irrational. It's irrelevant. I think that maybe you should, you know, look into some other views. You know, when you want to talk about something in front of millions of people, know both sides of the story. It's not necessary for you to only have one side and just have these blinders on, and you're looking this way instead of opening up your blinders and looking at all sides of the spectrum and understanding where not only, you know, your far right conservative groups, you know, not only what they're saying, but, you know, look at the far left liberal groups and see what they're saying, and, you know, then you can kind of base your opinion on your personal beliefs, your personal, you know, whatever it might be, financial state, your career, where you live, how you live, what you eat, what you buy. You have to incorporate all those things and truly think about, what am I doing as a person to better the situation. And I think that's all things that we all need to look at, and not just you, Kevin. I think that everyone has this the same, a lot of people have the same views as you, and a lot of people might be completely against you. I mean, by the comments on some of your videos, I think a lot of people are frustrated, and I'm sure that you like that, which is a good quality to have, that stubborn passion and drive and will, and I appreciate that. But as human beings, I think we all need to kind of come together and you know, have some intelligent comments to talk about on you know, sites that we're fortunate to have, like YouTube. And another thing, when I was watching about the nuclear threat in Iran, it's so much. There's so much more to it than what you put out in your video. Yes, Iran has begun to invest a lot of money into their nuclear power plants, but the scary part isn't them building bombs. They're not even building bombs yet. The scare is the grade of uranium that they're using, and they're actually using what's referred to as 20 grade uranium, which is weapon grade, and yes, Israel has a right to obviously be nervous by that. We have a right to be nervous about that, but to blame Obama and say that he's at fault for the concern, and he's at fault for us not going to war, and you know, you want to drop a nuke on Iran and stuff. It's just irrational thinking, and I know I've said that word a lot because that word really describes how I feel about your videos. Just irrational, and you know, reply to my videos. You know, let's talk about this more. I subscribed to your page. I saw that you subscribed to mine, so let's kick it off.